Submitting your electronic timesheets. Timesheets are your record of how many placement hours you have worked. They are a formal document and are critically important. Timesheets may be required by the Nursing and Midwifery Council as proof of your hours when you register at the end of your course. Timesheets are always your personal responsibility. If you do not complete your timesheets correctly and on time, you may not pass your placement module. Please see a member of the placement team if you have any problems with your timesheets. You must submit your timesheets every week. Placement staff may not agree to authorize late timesheets. In this case, you risk failing your practice module. To access the timesheets, you need to click on the plus symbol next to the placement name. This will then show you another button labelled Report Attendance (TMS). TMS stands for Timesheet Management System. When you click on the Report Attendance button, a new web page will open up with timesheets for the weeks you are due to go into placement. You will need to look at the dates of the weeks and make sure that you are entering your hours worked for the correct week. We will look at the process to enter hours worked for week 2. The first step is to click on the Edit link at the right of the week. Next, you will need to add a mentor to authorize your timesheets. If this is the first time you are adding a mentor for this placement, you will need to ask the ward manager or your supervisor assessor who should authorize your timesheets. In most placements, this will be the ward manager. However, any registered nurse is able to authorize the timesheets. You will need to have the email address and basic contact details of the person that is going to authorize the timesheets. To add a mentor, click the orange Add Mentor button. A new dialog box will open titled Add Change Mentor Mode. If another student has already added your mentor, or whoever is going to authorize your timesheets to the system, they will appear in the drop-down list. You can then select the correct person and click Add Mentor. If your mentor is not in the drop-down list, you will need to add them by clicking on the New in the drop-down list and then entering their email address into the mentor email box. Once you have typed the mentor's email into the mentor email box, you need to click on the blue Find Mentor button to try to locate the mentor. If the mentor is already in the system, their details will be shown. You can then click the green Use this mentor button at the bottom of the page to use that mentor to authorize your timesheets. If the mentor has not previously been added to the system, you will need to find them and add their details now. You will need to fill mentor title, Mr., Mrs., Miss, etc., forename, surname, and phone number. The phone number should be a ward number, not a personal or mobile phone number. Lastly, you need to add their job title. The email address will already be there as you entered it in the previous step. When you have entered all the details, please click Add Mentor at the bottom of the screen. You will now see that your mentor has been added to the timesheet for that week, and their name is listed as the day supervisor for the whole week. This can be changed later if you worked with a different member of staff, but only one member of staff can authorize the timesheets each week. This is why it is often better for the ward manager or whoever completes the off-duty to authorize timesheets for you. The person authorizing the timesheets does not need to have worked with you all week in order to be able to authorize them, they can check the off-duty records to make sure they are happy that you were on placement. Next, you need to add the hours that you worked each day. To do this, you need to click the edit link towards the right of the day for which you worked the hours. You can change the person that you worked with that day by editing the day's supervisor. This is especially helpful to your mentor when they are authorizing your timesheets. You can now start to add your working pattern for this day. In the date column, for this section, you need to add your shift pattern. If no shift pattern from the drop-down menu matches the shift you have worked, then you should select Custom at the bottom of the page. Time in column. For this column, you need to enter your start time using a 24-hour or military clock. You can click on the 00 to bring up a list of times to select. This can be quicker than using the arrows to select the time, but both ways will still work. Once you have selected the hours, you can repeat the process for the minutes. You can then click the edge of the page to make the clock close if needed. Now move to the time out column. In this column, you need to enter the time you've finished your working shift. You must include your breaks. Failure to enter breaks may result in your timesheets being rejected. To add a break, click on the break clock and enter the number of hours and minutes you had for a break. Most breaks will be 30 minutes long. The system will automatically calculate your total hours worked for the day by subtracting your break time from the time in and time out. If you are off ill or absent for another reason, you need to add an absence to the day. To add an absence, first enter the shift times that you were due to work and then click the box labelled Absent. You should now select a reason for the absence from the drop-down list. You do not need to fill in the absence hours. This will be done for you by the system. Once you have finished editing the day, you must save the timesheet by clicking the blue Save button at the end of the row. If you wish to complete the timesheet every day, you must now save and can then safely log out. To save the timesheet, click the blue Save Timesheet button. You need to repeat this process until you have entered all the hours you have worked for the whole week. Once the whole week has been entered, you can submit the timesheet by clicking on the Submit Electronically button. Please note, paper timesheets will not be accepted. If you accidentally press the Submit Paper version button, you will need to request an unlock and then resubmit your timesheet. If you need to unlock a timesheet to change some of the information you have entered, you can type a reason for the unlock in the Reason for Unlocking box and then click Request Unlock button. You will now be able to go straight back into the timesheet and make any changes. You can only unlock the timesheet yourself 3 times before you will need to ask for help from a member of the placements team. Once the timesheet has been unlocked, the status will turn pink and show Unlocked for changes. Notice the Edit button is now available again. There are several statuses that your timesheet can be in. Unlocked for changes means that you can now go back into the timesheet and make any changes you need. In progress means you have not yet submitted the timesheet to your mentor for authorization. If you have completed your timesheet and it still says in progress, please click Submit Electronically to submit it to your mentor. Approved means that you have submitted the timesheet to your mentor and your mentor has approved it. You will soon see the hours in ARC. Action required means that your mentor has rejected the timesheet. You need to go back into the timesheet, Read the notes that your mentor will have typed and correct any errors. Once you have corrected the errors, you may then resubmit your timesheet to your mentor for authorization. Submitted means that you have submitted your timesheet, but your mentor has not yet authorized it. You may need to gently remind your mentor that you have outstanding timesheets for them to electronically authorize. When you have finished submitting your timesheets and saved your changes, you can close down the web page.